Welcome to Hitman Boxing, and I'm back with some more news. So it's no secret that Errol Spence is looking for a big fight with anybody in his division. It seems like all the top welterweights are writing him off. They're saying he needs to work his way up the ranks and all this bullshit. Well, that's exactly what he's trying to do. And he's got his eyes set on that IBF championship. And we all know who holds that belt, Kell Brook, right? So yeah, you guys have been saying, Errol Spence, who is that? He's not ready. He really needs to earn his title shot. Now, that's exactly what the fuck he's doing. Now, right after he beat Chris Algieri, he went into talks with Konstantin Panamarev for that final eliminator. And it looks like that fight won't be happening. Apparently, Konstantin Panamarev is looking to go in a different direction with his career. Cool, no big deal. So the IBF's looking at other opponents. They hit up Jeff Horn from Australia. I believe he's from Australia. And also Lamont Peterson and y'all boy Sammy Vasquez. But guess what they said? No, sir, we don't want Errol Spence. We ain't fucking with him. Yeah, that's probably what they said. But of course, they're going in other directions with their careers as well. You know, they're probably fighting. I mean, I heard that they would be fighting for some other titles. So whatever, fuck them dudes. They don't want that static with Spence, right? Now, Leonard Bundu was next. And it looks like he's going to be in talks with Errol Spence for this final IBF Eliminator. If you don't know who Leonard Bundu is, why don't you go ahead and YouTube him. You might remember him from that fight with Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman knocked him down. I think it was the first or second round. But he seemed to have a little trouble with him. I was expecting Keith Thurman to knock him the fuck out. But that shit went 12 rounds and he got the decision over him. So, I mean, Bundu, he's like 41 years old. Old crafty veteran, but he really hasn't fought, too many tough opponents, man. But he's a crafty veteran. But I mean, if this happens to go through, it'll be the final fight for the IBF Eliminator. They've got until June 22nd to reach terms. At which point, a purse bid will take place or it'll be held. So you can't say that Errol Spence isn't trying to work his way up to Kell Brook. That's what the fuck he's been trying to do. He's trying to earn that shot. Now, once he becomes Kell Brook's mandatory, then the ball's in Kell Brook's court. Obviously, Kell Brook's got a fight. He's got a fight coming up soon, in which he could potentially, unify. I think it was a WBO, and of course his belt. So he'd unify those belts, and he loves fighting his mandatories. Or you know what? You guys fucking make so many excuses for this guy. Yeah, he fights his mandatories, one after the other, right? That's what your excuse is for his shitty competition, right? So I guess that means Errol Spence ain't really shit either, right? So once Errol Spence becomes his mandatory, he might as well just fight him, right? Because he's just going to fucking walk through Errol Spence, right? He's going to walk through him. Let's see that shit happen. Errol Spence will have earned his fucking shot by then. And you can't really say shit. But if Kell Brook doesn't take that fight, he's a fucking bitch. And I can see Kell Brook vacating that IBF title, okay? And he'll keep that WBO title, and he'll vacate the IBF. Why not? Because he's fucking scared, man. Everybody's fucking afraid of Errol Spence. Nobody want to fight him. So let's see what happens when the ball is in Kell Brook's court. When he has a mandatory who is a perceived threat. Let's see what Kell Brook does then. Because I'm not so sure he wants that fight. And Eddie Hearn, he's a fucking liar. If you think he tells the fucking truth, you're dumb as fuck. Eddie Hearn's a fucking liar. I don't believe shit he says. Okay? So that's what it is. Errol Spence is coming for Kell Brook, or whoever the fuck else want that shit in the welterweight division. I'm standing by this motherfucker. I fuck with Errol Spence. I like what he does in the ring. I like what he does outside the ring. He's a good dude, man. But these motherfuckers afraid to fight him. But once he gets that belt from Kell Brook, it's a wrap. And yeah, I think he beats Kell Brook. Even though I feel like it's a 50-50 fight, I don't think Kell Brook's going to win that fight. And we can have a discussion about it. A civilized fucking discussion. But don't be afraid. Don't be afraid for your man. Because time's coming up for Kell Brook. All right? That's all I got to fucking say about that shit. Errol Spence possibly fighting Leonard Bundu in this final IBF Eliminator. Do you understand? That means after this, he's the mandatory for Kell Brook. And that means Kell Brook has to fight him. Kell Brook likes fighting mandatories. So let's have him fight Errol Spence after he knocks Leonard Bundu the fuck out. Hitman boxing, I'm out.